Hey, I'm here with the branch manager of the Mid-Continent Library, Angela Gillette, and I'm going to ask her some questions that you might find fascinating about your local library here. The first one is, what are some misconceptions that people have about the library? I'm sure you run into a lot of misconceptions because people think of what a library used to be or what it was like for them growing up. So what is kind of the biggest misconception people have of the library?
Well, the biggest misconception is that we are just a warehouse of books. We have gone so far past that. We have, with our latest remodel, become a community spaces-oriented location as well as having our print and physical materials. So, for instance, the room that we're in right now, this is our community room. Yes. And so what we do in here is our library events, our library programs, and it's also available for community forums. We also make it available if there's not anything going on in the room, if it's not booked. If individuals want to just come in here and study, it is the quietest room in the building. So they can just come in here and quietly study in this room. If you've noticed, we have outlets in the floors in here near all of our tables. So that was also something that we have tried to add in our building.
I'm counting eight of those.
Yes.
So there's plenty of those for social distancing and everything else.
Yes. So some other spaces that we have added is the collaboration rooms and the wellness rooms. Our collaboration rooms are 4-person rooms that are great for tutors, individuals that are tutoring students, maybe small business meetings. We also have a lot of individuals with COVID that come in and they maybe attend a Zoom class, or they conduct a meeting with individuals that are not even here in the building, type of a thing. And so it was a really nice thing to have during this time. We also, the wellness rooms is something different. It was something new that we decided to put in our buildings at the last minute. We heard requests for a space for individuals that maybe they needed to nurse and they didn't feel comfortable nursing out in the public areas.
They just needed some privacy.
Just a little privacy, a one-person room where they could take care of their health needs. And other individuals, like say if somebody had a migraine crop up, and they just needed a moment to step away that is not the bathroom, somewhere where they can control the lighting or something like that. This gives them that space where they have control of lighting, they have some privacy, that type of thing. And so that was rather new for us. We also now have not just high-speed internet, but it's available inside of the building, and it's also available in our parking lot.
Oh, okay.
So even if the library is closed, whether it's evenings or on the weekends at time after hours, individuals can come and access high-speed internet in our parking lot.
And it's a huge parking lot.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yes. And or if it's a holiday kind of thing. So and something new is, now, you'd have to place them on hold because they are very, very popular. But for individuals that maybe don't have internet at home, we now also have HotSpots that individuals can check out and take home for 2 weeks. And if nobody is waiting on them, they can actually renew them for another 2 weeks. So we are trying to also help provide some needed technology that people just need for accessing doctor visits, reading books, that type of thing in this modern world.
So I could pull up in the parking lot on Christmas Day and stream It's a Wonderful Life from my car with the library internet.
You could.
Okay, that's good to know. I might try to do that. That's one of my favorites. By the way, this really is a very quiet room. It's raining pretty heavily outside, and I cannot hear that it's raining. And you can see there were some kids playing in the library just a little bit earlier. I couldn't hear them as well. So that's kind of one of the cool things I think about this is, even though this is a huge sprawling building, you can find places in this building where there's some privacy and where you can study and think and kind of be with yourself, or like she said, if you had a Zoom meeting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have another question for you, and you've kind of touched on this a little bit, but what does the library offer for young families in our community?
Well, it is a great resource for individuals and partner if they have young families, because of the fact that we have story time where we offer tips and things.
Oh, cool.
For
When is
literacy.
story time?
Okay, right now our programs are virtual.
Okay.
So check us out online. We are hoping to bring back in-person story times in the near future,
Yeah.
but they won't let us give a date yet.
Yeah. But that is coming.
But yes.
Okay. By the
Okay.
way, I'm going to put some links in the bottom
Okay.
of this video for the website and stuff so that you can find the story time. I'm going to link that in the bottom.
What I was trying to get at is that third grade reading level is that crossover term. Before then, people
Okay.
are learning to read.
Yes.
And at third grade, then we switch over to reading to learn. And so
Okay.
it's very, very important to establish those reading habits and to have a strong foundation in literacy by that third grade reading level. So that's why we incorporate so many tips and things and provide so many literacy resources on our website, because we want to be a partner for parents of young children.
So they have programming for your children, not just your young children, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, but even they want to help your children when they learn to read, that they can use reading as a tool to help them learn. So they're learning to read, and then they're reading to learn. Another question I had that I thought was really kind of a neat one was, what do you think the library is going to look like in 10 years? I think our country is going to look very different in 10 years. I remember 10 years ago how different our country was.
Uh-huh.
What's a library going to look like in 10 years? You've already talked about internet in the parking lot. You've talked about being able to take home a hotspot and have a hotspot in your house. I mean, 10 years ago, would you ever have thought you could check out a hotspot from the library? What do you think in 10 years the library's going to look like?
Okay, so I went back,
Okay.
Since Benjamin was so great, gave me these questions in advance, and I took a look at, what we have accomplished in the last 10 years. And we have things like the Reading Rocket that can actually bring literacy and computer events to communities and story times to communities, and all kinds of advancements. The ability to not only have our print materials and our just physical materials, the books, the movies,
Yeah.
the music in the buildings, we also have all of that available as a digital resource.
Okay.
Anything we have in print, we have in digital. We were able to add tutoring online for parents. It's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, they're stuck on a homework problem. They can actually access tutors for free through the library, even late at night. We now have the ability to offer professional help through the same resources, live homework help from tutor.com for people who are working on resumes, because a lot of people
There you
are
go.
changing their jobs right now.
Yeah.
And we have all of this is pretty much come about in the past 10 years. So we have no idea what we're going to see in the next 10 years. I imagine it's going to be a lot of changes.
So they can help you with finding a new job, it sounds like, and help you with resume building. Now, Angela, I want to ask you, what did you call these special spaces again? I'm kind of shifting this a little bit, but the special
Okay.
spaces like the one we're in now.
Community spaces,
Can we go look at some of those real quick before we end this video?
we sure can.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Our most recent remodel meant that we could actually have a dedicated space for our children's area. Before the remodel, we had the shelving was up at the front of the building, which meant the kids were right next to the door, and so we were able to move our kids area and actually make a space for our children back here. Our meeting spaces, we're going to try not to show the individual who's in there right now to protect his privacy and things. They are glass fronted so that for security reasons we can see in the meeting rooms. But we do have these nice privacy
It's kind of
etchings,
frosted there.
so that to give them some privacy. The meeting rooms have either a whiteboard if individuals like to work on a whiteboard. We have one of those. We also have a television that is just used for a monitor that we generally have in the other collaborative space. And so we're good to
This is
hop
the
in there.
wellness room, okay?
This is-
That we talked about earlier.
Okay, so if you could hold the door
Yeah,
open for me.
absolutely.
You have total control of the lights in here. So if somebody has a migraine and just needs to be a
Yeah.
little less bright, it's just a simple room for one person.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.